Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here. A little sleepy. Was lying in the bed this morning, social media on, and I heard some news presentations about policies that are being pursued by the politicians. And they were talking about the progressives and moderates and the left, or on the right, who are progressives as well, and the moderates, and talking about the outcome of the election in Ohio when you had Miss Brown to beat Nina Turner because Miss Brown was more moderate. And there was seemingly downing Bernie Sanders and Miss AOC and others because they are progressive. And as I hear this conversation going on, I think it's only justified that Eddie Marcus, who got something to say about it, make his opinion heard in regards to this. Now, what do I see when I hear people, progressives and moderates? What ever crosses my mind on both sides? Well, on the one side, to me, let's say what we call Democrats left. When we're speaking about progressives, we are speaking about justice. We're speaking about peace and prosperity. And we speak that because we know that if there is injustice, there is to be no peace. What kind of junk would that be? Injustice going on, and then it's accepted. Well, this would be representative of progressives on the Democratic side, as I see it. That would be represented by those who they are condemning for being progressives, Bernie Sanders and Ms. AOC and others who are concerned that everybody got food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, and a job. This is what they are concerned about. Now, you got what we would call moderates. Now you got moderates who have settled on the position that, well, this is a hard struggle and you've got to be wise about this thing. And we're going to see how this thing is going to work itself out. And so while we want our true freedom, it's a matter that it's not just going to happen. So let's see how to work it. And so we'll settle for some freedom now, with a promise that from them, that our president, that if we don't raise too much sand in a little while, we'll get a little bit more freedom. Okay? So to me, that's what's representative of a moderate on the Democratic side. On the Republican side, a progressive is one who cares for nothing but that one particular agenda for the few. Or don't let me say few, that's not really what it is. It's selfish. On that side, it represents selfish. On the one, it's for everybody. On the other, it's selfish. Now, I'm talking to you, that's what it's. So, oh boy, I hope I'm just telling you what it is, okay? On the Democratic side, let me make a clarity. It is extended for all. And I'm saying that because I truly believe that Bernie Sanders and Ms. AOC are concerned about all the people. And that is truly what it should be. But it may not be. But at least that's the direction and path at which it travels. Back over here on the Republican side. Now you got the selfish. Now you got also the moderates selfish. They are the ones who say, well, yeah, we can give them a little bit. I don't mind. Let them have a little bit. None of the progressives say, no. They say, no. Well. And what they're thinking is, in order for the progressive selfishness to continue, you have to plagiate this loser somewhat. And so that's why you pretend like you're giving them something. And the same on the Democratic side as well. They're pretending. We're going to outsmart something. I can guarantee you, if the moderates on the Democratic side, I can guarantee you, if the rug was snatched from under them and they fell to the bottom, I guarantee you they would become progressive. And probably on the selfish side, it would do that too. See, here's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. People like Dr. King was a progressive. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and those guys, they were moderates. Now, let's look at it. Because I heard somebody say today, talking about some people who fought in the struggle, who the young people are trying to put down because they're not satisfied with the activities and they're calling out for what they see. And someone is defending the activities of those of yesterday about how strong and how committed they were and how much they sacrificed going to jail and stuff like this. Okay? Hey, that's what happened. Andrew Young, look at Dr. King and Andrew Young walking side by side for a cause. Dr. King died, Andrew Young get a job. Jesse Jackson get a job, another job, funded by the government. Let's be serious, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not be crazy. Let's be serious. Here's the situation. When the guys were coming over in the slave ships, some of them were progressive. And they're the ones that jumped off the ship. They don't know what life holds. They didn't know what slavery holds. They don't know what holds on the other side of that water. But they trust it above where that ship is going. But no, the moderates went on the ship. I say that, ladies and gentlemen, because when they're trying to make it seem like, okay, we fought hard yesterday. Look at today, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it today. It is like we have come no place. And because all of the stuff we thought meant something, didn't mean a thing. It was just a facade. Well, I'm speaking for, I'm not, I'm just speaking from a Democratic perspective. I'm speaking from a perspective right now of people who are moderates, who care more about themselves, perhaps, than others. Moderates do that. Moderates, yes, they care more about themselves than they do others. That's why they can put up with what happens to them. Moderates are saying that the poor people that they leave behind, who the progressives on the Democratic side say they represent. But the moderates say, no, well, we'll get them later. Now that means you might be able to go home. You might be able to go to and eat. You might even be able to get a ride home. You didn't walk to the shelter. If you were walking to a shelter, yeah, you probably would have been trying to be moderate as well. You would probably be just trying to get up to that position so you can have a house to go to, food to eat, car to drive. When you get there, those who you left behind, well, they'll eventually get it. Right back where the beginning, like they're trying to do in the States. Take away all your privileges that you have been granted and rights. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's because the game is being played. So don't let anybody tell you no junk like that. Jesus, let me just use this example and I'll get ready to close out of here. Jesus Christ was a progressive. The Pharisees and Sadducees were moderates. Jesus Christ wasn't on the top with material gain. But the life, the spirit, the love, that which allows it to happen for all, which was much deeper. That's what progressive is, really. A true progressive, that's what they really are. They are in the bottom, standing up for everything down there. That's why people don't like them. That's why they don't like them. A moderate say, well, okay, we'll pull off a few. We'll let you go with some. Just give us some. Come on. So if anybody's benefiting while others are suffering, it's screwed up and it's from the pit of hell. So all of you guys in Washington, D.C., who talking about progressives, and talking about moderates and talking about left and talking about right. I want you to know that is the speakings of ignorant, no wisdom at all, humankind when it comes to God. Because any of that comes from the pit of hell. This world, I'm talking to everybody, was designed so that all of us can live as though we are in heaven. And we should all be progressive to that end, that no one would be suffering anything that the rest of us are benefiting and enjoying if others want to experience it. No, I'm not going to tell you how to do that yet. Go to some other videos and get it. But as long as you're talking about people getting evicted in the streets, that should never have a problem. That should never exist. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are suffering, let me tell you something. These people are playing games with you. God has designed it that none of you should suffer. None of you should suffer. And all it takes is a mind following the Spirit of God to be able to see that and tell you that. And ain't nobody telling you, well, I don't want to say nobody, but I ain't hearing nobody tell you that. You should want to hear the truth. Now, the truth come and tell you that, but the truth tell you something else you got to do. There's something you got to do. The only way that stuff that I tell you going to come true by God is when you allow that Spirit to live in you and you start doing your part. Doing your part. Your part means you deserve it. When you don't do your part, I don't care what you're thinking. If you don't do your part, you're not going to get your part. Thank you.